Hello, my name is Ethan, and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile Crucible League 3.21. In this episode, we're going to be showing you guys how to AFK tier 15 Blighted maps. Enjoy. Alright, let's get into the first Blight map. So to start it off, we have our triple Crimson Oils, and then I apparently hit 100 quant on this one, just from alking it, and then I hit less life recovery rate and move speed, and I'm still going to do it, so we vow them, so we can hit tainted oils on the chest. It re-rolled RIP. And then this one also had less recovery, so it went unidentified. This one's cannot regen. We can do it, because I could ES recharge, but then I skip those for now, and we come back to that. And then this one looks fun with the reduced effect of our auras and the less spell suppression, and then it steals the powers and frenzies from the monkeys, from your minions. But then, yeah, we'll do this less recovery one for. So my recovery before is 1827, and then I open the map. And then this is tier 15 fully AFK Blight with zombies in Crucible League. So I actually even took out the offering, because you don't activate it when you're AFK, and I put in clarity so that we would get a little bit of extra attack speed through an extra aura through the Commander of Darkness. I just build 2 towers and then I go AFK. Alright, cool. And now we'll go over the build. So to start it off, I put corpses and I attack the pump so that I've centered my minions here, and there's corpses for Plaguebringer because of our ascendancy. But to start it off, I wanted to say the Pantheons. I switched to Lunaris, so I'm chain immune. The other stuff is nice. And then Tukohama, Fizz damage reduction stationary, and the regen while stationary. It makes sense for Blight, it's just really good. So then we're at 730 regen with the less recovery. It's really strong still, really high regen. And I wanted to go through the build. So we use 2 demon harpies for the 60% increased Fizz damage taken on the enemies, the host chieftain, the carnage chieftain for the powers and frenzy charges. Our enemy guardian has explode with a relentless fury, and he's got an explode synthesis weapon, and he has the nearby enemies take 9% increased fizz helmet, and then just a regular boot, and he's got the reses. And I have an AG video if you want to see more specifically about that, but I basically have 40 plus elemental res on his gear and 55 plus chaos res, and then vulnerability curse on hit on his glove. So then I run a stone golem for the life regen and a chaos golem for the fizz damage reduction. We run determination and blight for the huge armor. We get massive armor because we actually went CI, ES, and we end up aura stacking. So we have these 5 auras plus more. So we have like 8 auras in the build, and we also use Commander of Darkness, which is kind of like it adds on to every single aura and then gets scaled by aura effect. So we ES CI, and then this global defenses increases the armor, evasion, and ES globally, so it helps us get this huge armor off of the determination, and it's really good. Then some other fun stuff is it also increases the ES, and then ES from your discipline, for example. So the discipline would normally give you 250, but it's an extra 50%, and it gets scaled by the explicit defense modifier heist mod. It's really cool. And then I've gone all ES gear, and it's because we didn't hit spell suppression on the body, so we just have regen, which actually does get converted to ES regen through Zealot's Oath. That's really cool. And then yeah, we just went ES on all the gear, so it's just like basically res attributes like int dex, and then reses, and just max ES you can get on the gear. So like 196, 203, 207, they can go up to like 300, 240 I've seen. This one I hit extra regen suffix, crafted the minion damage. The helmet, I used the essence for the reservation, have the extra zombie, have the +2 fracture. Yep. On the ring, I have Maim and Minion Life for my Animate Guardian. We use the Anomalous Animate Guardian for the Explode AG, and I've only put 2 gems on him right now, Maim and Minion Life. I want to add Empower and Enhance. It's just that you have to level those up and put them in and sacrifice them and commit it, and I could also just put Awakened versions and spend more, and then it's even better. It's to raise Empower specifically to raise the Animate Guardian's life. I've got it to 128,000. But yeah, ES, and then reses. And here I crafted this with the facet fossil and got the +2. I have the video on that. And this +1 strength actually works on an empower. So my empower is level 5 from 4. So my zombies are at 34, and it gives me an extra zombie. So we've gotten to 12. It's really insane. 12 zombies without Baron. And yeah, they're 34. And the boots just ES res int, like I said, and the Ami was just a +1 all skill zombie Ami from Delve. It dropped like this, and then I had open prefix to craft ES. The suffixes are not very good, I'd have to gamble it. And I have my aggressive wand from Delve, fractured, and then we crafted the +2 with minion damage. And then I veiled the attack speed and crafted trigger. I'm not using the trigger for blight, so it's not necessary. And then this one's just T3 minion damage at +2, minion crit chance, minion crit multi, really crazy wand. I want to annul for attack speed, but like to craft attack speed after I remove the attack speed, but it's 1 in 6 or 1 in 5, which is really, really rough. Most of the time it's going to rip. And then so I ended up going CI because we found out, well, we know that when I was testing the Fizz as Chaos with the Wither mod that they added to maps, Delve, Heist, all this stuff is really deadly, especially when you get 9 stacks plus of Wither. So even with 75 Chaos, I was still dying, and I was like, okay. And then I found out yesterday that Crystal Skin is actually Chaos damage now, not Elemental. And that's why that was so deadly too. So I had an extra bonus of why, but then the other thing is, the other benefit is you don't have to build chaos res, so then you can build this cooler, more interesting gear rather than worrying about chaos res, which is a really rare mod on gear, and usually you have to like force it with essence or aberrant fossils or chaos craft with harvest, where yeah, doing it without it is kind of nice. And then when we're mage blood with the Ellie flask, it gives us so much Ellie res that we didn't need really Ellie res on the gear, but I did get some, so we're just overcapped, which is nice. And I ended up doing Purity of Fire in the build, getting us to 85 fire res. And this is for the volatiles, the Goats of Fire, the Molten Shell, the Burning Ground, you name it. Oh, Innocence, Solaris Touch, there's just so many fire related crazy high damage things. It's insane. So Purity of Fire, oh, Detonate Dead, like this is just great. And it also, yeah, then it raises our minions fire res to 90 because they get normally the extra 8% through the mastery, so they'd be at 83, and then I'm giving them the extra 7. Well, I'm giving them like 10, but 7. I'm overcapping them even, which is really nice. So what I'm going to do is just open the loot. I'm not going to loot it, so I'm just going to show the loot, and then we'll do another one. But yeah, it's T15 viable, and I have more stuff to go through. I'm going to go through the whole build, make sure I've gone through everything. No particular order, but I will cover everything in the video. Stag decks. I have so much stuff to show. It's insane. There's more. Like I made a timeless jewel thing that's really cool with a what's it called, impossible escape. I need to show that. I have to show my like there's so much cool shit. I've only gone over the ES part and how it works with the CI. Let's check those helmets. I've also updated my filter. Okay, nice. Alright, so now this one's reduced effective aura 60 in the spell suppression, and then the powers and frenzies. So our monkeys are useless here, or less useful. The other thing, that reduced effective aura makes my fire res go to 82 now. I only have 18k armor instead of 29,000, so it's really big. Okay, so I wanted to first, I was talking about the LE flask and the CI with the LE res on the gears, cool. But then I go increased armor, so synergy with the determination. Void shock, this scales up, and I think it's only 52 you need or something. And then with storm shroud, we're just moved it. Storm shroud, we're just immune to shock, which is really cool. And then I mean immune to all elemental ailments because we're immune to shock through avoid being shocked. Yeah. Then I got regen instead of evasion because I'm not using the grace for the blight, so actually having the extra 3% of ES regen is massive. Oh, I also lost like 500 ES while I'm in this map because of the reduced effective aura of my discipline. It's okay. So then 1607 can go to 1901 with the bottled faith. Disgusting. Still so much regen. And then I wanted to, oh yeah, next, reduce mana cost of skills. This could be another mod like avoid stun or the evasion for mapping, especially if I'm not going to be really using the trigger. I'm thinking about not using trigger. I mean, just not using offering potentially, and just using the extra slots in our build because of this AFK thing. We've wanted to do this before. It's really powerful, the offering, but at the same time, it's 2 activations, it's trigger, the mana, and it's actually kind of nice to not have to worry about it, to be honest. It's some benefits. And then this, again, it would save a whole extra mod. And then avoid stun, because when you're CI, it's based on your life, and your life isn't increased big, and you have like 1 life, so you get stunned by everything. It's really bad. So then, gone over like a lot of the stuff in the build, but now I want to show this part. So we have an impossible escape for the agnostic, which means around this node, this keystone, I'm allowed to pick notables or anything, like, see how it says can be allocated without connection to the tree. Okay, so then the idea was you can grab the nodes for minion that aren't killed by the timeless jewel. Okay, you're with me here, right? So we still get 20 damage at 10 attack speed for a single point, and 20 damage and regen for a single point. Okay, and then I get 12 aura effect, and I had this 80 minion life, and then I can get recover 5% of ES over 1 second when you take fizz damage from an enemy hit. Any fizz damage was gonna make me recover 5%. It's pretty good mod. There's also the 10% of fizz from hits as chaos, which is like massive when I'm CI. It's just 10% less chaos, basically. I mean, 10% less fizz from hits. But then 24 aura effect is a lot. And then they're 2 single point. It's pretty crazy, and it's just a jewel. And then I could have the implicit too. I got reduced effective shock, which doesn't do anything because I'm already immune. And I'm avoid shock instead. I would have needed this to be avoid, not reduced, but it's all good. It's just a corruption. But that's the combo I've done, and it's actually worth it. I think it's pretty good. There was also my other one where I had the brutal restraint here, and it had 8 aura effect on this, and it was just giving me dex and like minion move speed and minion damage. This is solid too, without killing stuff. But this is actually really powerful, and it's more aura effect, and it's more minion life, like 60 extra minion life. So my zombie went from 55 to 65, and it's really strong. And then I've took these 4 points just for a jewel socket to take corrupted blood, and I ended up going for minion Ellie res on this jewel, so that I didn't have to get minion Ellie res on the bone ring, which made, like, I need to upgrade the bone ring, but this is my cheap one for now. Obviously I'll explain that in a second. But minion damage, minion Ellie res with corrupted blood, yeah, could have obviously minion accuracy, minion your life, minion life, ES. I don't need life. I would need ES in this build, but there's a bunch. That's just what I ended up getting because it's hard to find a jewel with corrupted blood, so I needed it because corrupted blood's so bad, where now I get some extra stuff with it. And then we have our big large cluster. I ended up upgrading to increase effect with minion attack speed, and then it has T1 ES now and regen, so just crazy fat ES from the cluster. I should definitely divine this, and I'd get an extra 1 per point, and then it scales up. And then I have the 3 medium clusters. They're 3 dread marches, and then 2 renewals, and we put one of them as feasting fiends so that I didn't have to run the mastery for the 1% leech. It has the 0.4 leech. This is fine as long as we do enough damage, because you'll hit the full leech cap per hit anyways. It's only in the case that you don't do enough damage, so maybe like uber bosses where there's less damage, you need more leech percentage, but this is fine if you do big damage and you don't do ubers. So then that allows you to save the mastery on the thing. It's worth taking feasting fiends for one of these instead of renewal. And then we have the 3 small clusters. of increased effect reservation, so each one's 8% per point, and then you get the extra attributes and ES, so strength, dex, ES, at all attributes ES. I don't need the chaos res, obviously. Mana, strength, dex, and then yeah. So then I mentioned I have a storm shroud for the elemental ailment immune. We have this combo to do this. I think it's worth it. It's pretty good. It's pretty much as good or the same as the other one, and the benefits were that it's more aura effect instead of minion damage, which I find that then it counters this. Like, you see how this is reduced, so my increased counters it. And so let's say you did a map and you had reduced 60% and you had no aura effect, your auras are 60% less good. When you take 60 aura effect, then your auras are 60% better. If you had 60% aura effect, so 60% better, and the map mod deletes the 60, it's like, it's equivalent, right? It's like fairer. But if you started stacking it, then it's like, it's equal. It's still like, it's not, you know what I mean? It's not as bad because you still have 100%. You wouldn't lose like 60 of the total. It would only be like 33% of your total. Now, obviously, it's because you actually had to build into it, but I think it's worth it overall. That's what auras are really strong. Auras are pretty powerful. The aura effect is the hard thing to get, and the fact that we can get 24 from this is pretty strong, pretty powerful. Yeah, let's get the loot. Let's show this stuff. There might be some better things. Not too worried. If we end up finding something better, that's cool. The timeless, I just started doing this timeless jewel impossible escape thing. It's really cool. Like I say, there's other ways to do it, other timeless jewels, other combinations. You don't need this exact one. But this is what I was looking for. Okay, we'll open up the chest without looting them so we can show it off. I'll call out any good loot. Since right before this, I was doing a couple maps to do my filter updates, Foul Temple, and I got a Divine Orb, dude. It was sick. Tainted oil. Yeah, and my filter needed an update. There were some things. Segdex. The Void. Mortal Grief. Segdex. We go again, and then covering some stuff I missed, which, yeah, so the Bottled Faith, big. One of the other ones is for Minion Survivability. I'll go over that like as a generic. The Minion Survival, well, my zombie's at 65, it was at 55, and it was dying basically only to DD boxes, and yeah, which they might survive now with the Purity of Fire and the extra 10,000 life that I put on them with the 80 minion life I got, but I haven't done maps yet to test it. Anyways, the main survivability for them is you have the minion LE res, so I have 11 here and the 15 here, so that's 26, and I have 23 through the tree, so 49, so they would be base 40, add 49, they go to 89 minion LE res, and then I'd like more, to be honest, so I have some plans for that, like minion LE res on the ring with the minion move speed and attack speed. It's more expensive, but then I don't need this, but this is my source of corrupted blood. That's the main thing here. That's the point. It's like if I'm gonna have a jewel, I might as well combo it of corrupted blood and the minion LE res. So anyways, that's the minion LE res situation. The fizz damage reduction is 15. I don't take the 8 because we have 3 dread marches, so it's 45. 45 fizz damage reduction, pretty sick. And then the chaos, they start at 20, gain an extra 13, and then an extra 30. So 43, so they're at 63. They're only missing 12. It's not that bad. I found them living at 50, and so 63 seems good. And your chaos I mean, your Animate Guardian would have full Chaos Res because of the gear he's wearing, especially with the Gravebind. So then, that's all that for that. And obviously the regen, I get regen, the renewals, and I have the leech. Yeah, and then I can even run Vitality alt quality instead of the AoE. You can have leech on the Vitality. It's like 0.4%. It's just that if the aura is not in range, then it won't work. Also, the Consecrated Ground makes this, and you get 5% regen on the minions, I believe, and the reduced effect of curse. So that's also a thing for the sustain of the minions, keeping them alive. Yeah. Okay. And then, yeah, my Ascendancy, I picked this. You can also choose Mistress instead of Plaguebringer to make the phase run good. And then if you did the offering, you make the offering affect yourself. If you don't run the Clarity, you have 60 mana, and you can run the offering, and it actually, you have enough mana to trigger the offering. I just, like I said, swapped it to Clarity because you don't use the offering in Blight, and I took out the Mastery for the increased effect of offering because I'm not using it anyway, so it was like a double dip. Dude, that's a really big trade, man. 150C. I'll also show you guys this. In a Blight, you can... Oh, this is T16. Whoops. I accidentally ran a T16. It's fine. So, I'll still be able to do it. But this is for T15 AFK Blight. The funny thing is, you can actually trade in Blight. As one of the... I was like, I could show this too. So, you can trade, and then... What happens is, it pauses, because you're not in the map, loading it. It needs a person there. And then when you go back in, it only starts right now and it's loading. And then when you come back in, just make sure you like move so that it starts. You can like, you get rid of that AFK thing, and then your minions start attacking again. So they actually paused and we're waiting. And as long as you like clear before you leave the portal, like you clear around your pump, you should be safe as long as you don't take too long to load in. So you can do that. Build's really going really well though. That's my other cluster. It's Strength, Renewal, Rotting Claws, Vicious Bite. Crafted this with the Crit, Reforge, and Harvest. And then I want to add Empower to this. I have my Reservation, Minion Life Helmet. Oh, we hit Purity of Fire, Reservation Enchant. I need to still fix the quality on the thing, on the glove and boot. I could recraft stuff and improve stuff. This isn't done. This is by no means done. That's the whole, it's just like a spot we're at, showing off the build of what it's capable of and what it's doing. Because I'm really proud of it. I'm really happy. And it's on the journey, on its way. It's already looking solid. This combo is so cool with the Impossible Escape and Elegant Hubris. So then you would technically need to get this one exact if you wanted this. But there's a few that have the 2 aura effect in this range. It's really neat that there's more options. They just won't have the extra 80 minion life. And then this one is in to commemorate Kadiro. Oh, I have the Kadiro Elegant Hubris. No way, dude. And it's exactly 148920. It has to be this one. You can check it in POB. It's crazy. I wanted to go over my masteries. So we had effect of auras on you, the 8 minion LE res, max LE res, the reservation's good, the 100% ES from equipped helmet because I have 203, and then the AoE and the overwhelm fizz and the AoE of auras, and then I took the recover 5% of ES over 1 second when you take fizz damage from an enemy hit. I think this is good. I think it's actually pretty good. It'll help with small fizz hits too, especially. And it'll just be free healing, I think. Really insane, it sounds like. Because that could be 5% ES regen if you just keep getting fizz hits every second. Sounds insane. And what if it probably doesn't stack because it's over 1. It's probably a buff or something that you get. It doesn't show, but I mean, yeah. Really insane. Yeah, our build is T15 Blight viable. I think it's basically T16 Blight viable, but I need to do more testing, and I have some stuff to do today, dinner and fam stuff, and then we'll be back with more PoE for sure. Let's get the loot together. See what we got. I won't loot it, I'll just click the loot, show it. Show the chest. Wait, what's the fracture I need to check? Alright. Oh yeah, oh, all the gilded scarabs. I filtered out the fractures too. Filtered out so much stuff. Shards. Jewels. Flasks. It's great. Blast rain. An arrow. Holy shit. Awakened sextant out of my oil chest. Where's my bullet ravage maps, dude? They've been going for 55C per. I need some. Rest in peace. This loot sucks. It's because it's a T16, right? What is this? Final things. Just as like just to make sure I've gone over everything. The auras that I run are haste, dreadbanner, pride, determination, precision. Then we have clarity, purity of fire, and vitality. Yeah, we get massive regen off the vitality. Purity of fire for the big fire res, huge. It's actually crazy on the T16s. The volatiles can still get close to killing me with how much damage they do. It's really, with 85 fire, it's, well, 84 when I was testing, but it's really insane how much they do. It's insane. Oh, one more thing I thought of was showing my full build, like, as the gems and even the wands mods. So we have the 10% overwhelm fizz through the first mod. That's what I'm using, and then I have the 1.4 base crit reduced attack speed. There's a few other mods you can go for. You don't need specifically this one, but this is decent. It adds extra damage and through crit, and it deletes attack speed, which is pretty okay for the slam because you know, big hits cool down, but we don't really have that issue. That was an old thing that we used to. And then feeding frenzy support is where I get my feeding frenzy. Otherwise, you would need feeding frenzy support in your build as a support gem, and it takes up a socket, so that's a thing. This is why I put my minions in the wand, Chaos Golem, Spectre, and Stone Golem, so that they can apply the buff, because the buff for feeding frenzy gives me 10% more damage, 10% attack speed, and minion move speed. Like this is 10% more minion damage. So you want feeding frenzy support somewhere. This is how I get it. And then the other one was 0.4 base crit multi. This is just good. Again, like I said, you don't have to go for this one. You could get this one too, and it's actually pretty good. The crit multi is nice. And then hinder, and then unholy might is mostly useless in the build, and actually deleting the minion chaos res is kind of scary. I've only had this because of the Skelly mod, and I had it for the video that I was showing off, and I still don't know if I wanted to keep it, but I might recraft it soon. But just to make you not worry about these two, and it was just hinder does help because it's the slow for blight to slow down the monsters. This is from the demon harpy scream, and the chaos golem should be able to also slow with its cascade and the aura, the chaos aura, if that works. It's a degen, so maybe it won't because it's not on hit, so it would only be the chaos golem's cascade and the demon harpy scream. Demon harpy will definitely slow them for the 4 seconds, but it won't be permanently up, but it would be really nice. And then the final thing, I want to show the gems, so the minions in the wand, and I had precision, dread banner, generosity, and so divergent generosity for the AoE, and then divergent dread banner for the chance to impale, and then just normal precision. You can have anomalous to save reservation, but then you don't get the AoE. And then I have discipline. You could have val discipline, but it's expensive. And then vitality could have the alt qual for the leech, but then it doesn't have AoE. And then you have divergent desecrate for the extra corpse, and then clarity was so I could get extra attack speed through the commander of darkness, like I said, an extra aura instead of flesh offering, otherwise flesh offering, and you can use the alt qual flesh offering for the attack speed. And then I have flame dash and purity of fire. I got my purity of fire to the higher level without needing the 21, so there's that. And I get the 5 max LE res and 5 max fire, and scaled it up to 85. So we doubled it. We have a lot of aura effect. And then phase run duration. And this makes my phase run 3.13, and with a boot of cooldown recovery rate of travel skills, I get the phase run to 3.03, so I have a permanent phase run. It's really important because this makes me stealthy, and it's nice for looting. It's not important for Blight for the survivability, obviously, because I don't use it, but it's nice for looting after. It's not required, but it's nice. Okay, then I have, this is the 4 link for Enlighten, so I have Enlighten 4, I don't have Awaken Enlighten, and then we have Haste, Pride, Dread, Determination, and then I don't alt-qual any of them. I like the AoE, especially on Pride, so that it reaches. Dread Banner is really important. These are the shorter ones. The other ones are big, like Haste and Precision are gigantic. Really cool. And then I had my Anomalous AG in the ring, where I wanted to add him power so he has even more life, so I risk him even less, and that would be really nice. And I do want to upgrade him as well, but for now he's doing pretty well, and he is hardcore. We lose the gear if he dies, so we'll upgrade him later. soon. Yeah, this is the build overall. It's doing T15 AFK Blight. I'm really happy with it. And up next, T16 AFK Blight. Also, can we hit 4? Well, okay, we've hit 2,000. Can we hit 3,000? I was gonna say a bigger number, but let's just start with 3,000. Let's go to 3,000 next, and then yeah, we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching. If you've ever done a Blight map and have 41 reflective oils, then like the video. And if you guys like the video and you're new to the channel, you made it to this part in the video, it's pretty deep, then hit that subscribe button so you guys are notified of the next one. Thanks for watching, and good luck to you guys. I hope you guys find all the divine orbs. Bye! Now I'd like to thank my Patreon and YouTube members who financially support the channel. Thank you guys so much for the support. Rico549, David, Stephen with a PH, Stephen with a V, Cynic, Hannes, Lewis, Nicholas, White Wolf, and N8. Thank you guys so much for the support. Bye!